morning.
Good morning.
From the ridge.
Loving being home.
Yeah.
Evidently, I left my voice at 10 killer.
Too much all that getting. That's probably why. Oh. Sorry, it's been a couple days, folks. We've been recovering from the YouTube meetup over at 10 Killer. And, I had a boatload of sourdough to take care of, so I've been baking all day yesterday, or prepping or whatever, and Yeah,
we said it was going to be an easy, restful day, and for the most part, I did. But even on our rest days, she's like, oh, let's just blow up the kitchen and make it 9,000 degrees. But the reward at the end is we have a lot of sourdough, everything. So I'm not mad at it, but
No.
I wish she would have taken. But with everything going on, it was a good distraction for her. And I get it, and there was a few things that we wanted to get done yesterday that didn't happen just because, for anybody that bakes, you can't just set it, forget it, and walk away and think, hey, all this other stuff, especially with the sourdough,
Yeah, because if it gets overproofed, my day just kept getting crazier yesterday, and so some things got overproofed, but I made sourdough pizza dough, and then I made homemade pizza with my own basil. I popped some basil
thebomb.com, y'all.
And I diced up that basil and added it to the sourdough with a little bit of garlic, and made the most amazing pizza crust. And then with the leftover, I made the most plumpest sourdough breadsticks. I made, I was trying to make cinnamon rolls, but that got overproofed. I couldn't roll it, so that's kind of a dump loaf right now. It is rising, so we'll see. And then I got a sourdough in the oven. I've probably have to go break and pull it out. And then I have another one that got way overproofed that I thought, well, it can't be bad if you add chocolate chips to it, right? And I don't know if it's going to be a muffin or bread or both, because I used both pans. What else did I make? I don't even remember. But so I've got a lot going on.
Your bagels?
Oh, yeah, and I overproofed those and they fell. So I tried warming one up this morning and it was not that great. So too many things going on yesterday for me to really pay attention to the sourdough. As y'all know, my dad, we were in Tennessee for 9 days taking care of my dad, and he was doing really good until he wasn't. And there's a distinct possibility I may be flying out anytime to Knoxville. He is back in the hospital. He is septic. So yesterday was a distracting day for me as I'm monitoring labs. I have access to his chart, and so I'm monitoring everything from here. I'm looking at labs. I'm talking to nurses. I'm talking to doctors. Trying to do what I can from Arkansas. It's a little difficult because I want to be there. He didn't have a very good reaction to Rocephin, IV Rocephin. So he experienced some delirium. And it's heartbreaking to see your daddy like that. So we've talked, and with everything we have going on, we both can't go.
Yeah, and it's one of those, she's able to nurse for the most part from here, right? Monitor the labs, but then there's questions, and when the staff are, you're not getting a face-to-face with the staff, and the hospital's a good hospital, and they're doing what they're supposed to do, but there's more questions that need asked that, the family that is there close by, they don't understand. She gets talking, and sometimes I have to stop her because she'll forget that, hey, not everybody grew up as a nurse or, understands this terminology or anything.
Yeah.
And the family's the same way. Out of her whole family, she's the family nurse, where she'll get charts and all this stuff, and they're like, okay, decipher this into real people language, not doctor medical language. And And yeah, so the ultimate decision, guys, and yes, she's kind of fighting me because we do have a lot to get around done here on the ridge, but that's never not going to be a thing. Like, we're always going to have projects.
Yeah.
We only get one chance to be around our parents and to support our family and that kind of stuff. And ultimately, that's the most important. This stuff's still going to be here to be able to get built when she gets back. And so I basically didn't give her much of a choice, and all but leaving it. She wanted to shop because she's always the deal finder, y'all. I looked at ticket prices and said, hey, buy now. And she's like, whoa, wait a minute, And I'm like, no, the next thing that needs to happen is for you to get on a plane and go. And, hopefully things can turn around for the better. We know the power of prayer, y'all. And, you guys have proven it to us many, many times because we've come on and asked for prayers for family members and really close friends and all that stuff. And, two of them that I can think of specifically right off the top of my head is, they're up and around. Whitney is all but living a normal life again, and she was not expected to even ever come out of a coma. And then, who's the other one that had? Jenny, she's still working mobility issues, but you know what? She was never expected to not come out of it. So, we know the power of it, right? Everybody has a testimony of a reason of why it works, and that's all we can ask for right now is, just those continued thoughts and prayers. And
he's going through a lot. Also, he said he's not ready. So I think he's scared too. So
yeah, and the comfort of her being able to go. I mean, obviously being his daughter, right? I mean, if there's a scary moment, then why not have your family the closest to you? But then when you have one that's a nurse that can explain things a little better or catch things that somehow.
Although last night he did get a little snarky with me because I was speaking to the nurse through my stepmom's phone, and the nurse was not understanding because I'm going and I'm reading all the consultations. I'm reading everything, and there was due to my request, there was a dictation for RT to eval and treat, and that's respiratory therapy. Sorry. And Charles is going to get wonked here real quick. And somehow, and doctors get it, as a nurse, I would always read the dictations, read, the consultations and stuff. And sometimes doctors miss putting in the order for something that they may have dictated. Just an oversight. They're looking at the big stuff. And not that RT's not a big thing, but the nurse that was on duty last night was saying, oh, well, we can't do sleep studies here. And I'm like, I'm not asking for a sleep study. He's already got the diagnosis. Well, we don't know what he's supposed to be. Yeah, it's right there. It's in the chart. You just have to read it. If the doctor has said that, RT is supposed to eval and treat, then clearly he just missed putting the actual order in for the RT to eval and treat. And I don't know, the nurse, it's frustrating.
This right here, guys, before she goes on a full rant and then you don't understand 3/4 of the words that she says, and I love her, but this right here, that emotion and that passion, and yes, it's a little bit more because it's her daddy, but the other part is that's the way she is with any patient that she ever had when she was actively nursing. So, that right there, you guys can see it is why, yes, it either sometime this afternoon or maybe as early as tomorrow morning, we got to definitely log on flights. She's out of here, whether she likes it or not. I got ratchet straps in a truck. She's getting to the airport and she's flying to Tennessee.
And I was kind of holding off last night making that decision because I wanted to see what his labs were doing this morning. And I've been up since 5, refreshing, trying to wait for those labs that I knew were being drawn this morning. I knew what was being drawn this morning. And really wanted to see an improvement because, you know, if there's an improvement, then I'm jumping the gun, and me flying there maybe not be the best course of action because he's getting better. And the labs weren't good. So, but they did change the antibiotic. He's only had that for about 12 hours at this point. So, yeah. I've been in constant communication with the aunts. I call them the aunts because I have so many of them. My dad's the only son. And I've been in contact with them as well as my stepmom. Picking me up from the airport is not a problem. You know, schedules can be rearranged, things like that. So I'm just trying to get everything done here that needs done before I go. I don't know how long I'll be gone. I guess we'll just wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, it's a day-by-day situation right now, and knowing that we do have stuff, and honestly, I mean, as much as I'd love to go and help support in any way I can, me going right now is just, there's really not a point necessarily because there's nothing that I can do. But I can still work on things here. We're gonna hit it hot and heavy on trying to get the studio, but before we can build, I gotta have the logs milled. So this rain that we've gotten has definitely made everything a muddy mess.
It's muddy.
And I may still have another, even by walking on the ground this morning, and if you guys see it, like it's
We had a dense
I don't
fog
even think
warning.
it's burning off much at all.
No, we
But
had a dense fog warning
Yeah.
in that county this morning, so everything's just moist. It's real moist.
and being the clay soil is, you know, it doesn't run very fast off. We did go down to the creek yesterday,
Yeah.
and
Oh, there's my sourdough. Keep talking.
you guys should see that coming out in the next day or two.
Today, I will get it done. That's what I'm gonna do right now.
Yeah, today's gonna be the day that, you know, she's gonna work on getting the video out. And then I know it'll be out of sequence, but you guys don't mind that at all. It just matches our craziness that we do have the video from Tennessee that's not finished edited yet. And, you know, just so much going on. You know, we're going to try to focus, you know, we're trying to at least keep you all updated what's going on here. Maybe with her being gone, sorry if the video qualities go down, guys, but that'll mean I'll have to make videos and edit them. That's a little scary. I've done it a little bit. Last year when she had to go to Tennessee for her aunt, I had done some. I can't run this new program she's got, but the old program, I know how to do that. So
Who we kidding? I can't even run the new program. I'm gonna edit today's video. And
you've
rush,
got today's video, or the one we want to put out today, and that's gonna be our
10 killer.
10 killer video.
As well as my e-bike and our coming home, and just kind of a little bit of everything.
The
it's
whole-
not
yeah.
just 10 killer.
Well, yeah, it's the whole weekend, and then we need to finish up, at least have it in the queue or do something if it's a special edition video or something from. We'll be going back in time a little bit, but we do want to get that info out on Tennessee because there's some cool stuff in there.
Yeah, and one of my best friend Deb, you know, because we went to the races and stuff, and her nephew is so interested and is so looking forward because we had given him the camera to film for the races, and he runs a little Facebook group for the well, I think he can't call it like the Tazewell thing, but he calls it
No, he covers a lot of the tracks. I mean, they go to
Yeah.
the one Tazewell Speedway, you know, every race they have, but because I think he said, we were talking to him, and I remember that age. I had that same passion of racing, and my family did too.
Yeah.
I think they've only missed 5 races total in the last like 2 or 3 years,
Yeah.
which is pretty impressive with schedules. And there's a couple different tracks that he occasionally gets to. So
And he's so excited that we would just say, here's the camera. And I was teaching him, you know, B-roll and teaching him this. And he sent me a message, what was it, the day before yesterday, I think, that he got his camera ordered, you know, and I mean, he's so passionate about it. So I definitely still want to get that video out.
Sorry,
right
guys.
there, baby.
It had a
Can
bone
make
in
it.
it.
But I want to get that video out. It'll probably come out as a bonus video, not as a scheduled video, but at this point, any of them are bonuses because we're so lax on getting those out. But, you know, he wants to see that. He wants to post the video to his Facebook group, which he moderates as, I mean, if you wouldn't know that he is a 12-year-old boy, you would not know the way he conducts himself in this group. He sounds like an adult commentator. Like he blows my mind. So we're excited for that for him. And I want to get that video out for him. So we'll put it out as a bonus video. It'll just be a going back in time. But
Which, like I said, we'll still get it out. And we appreciate all y'all's support of understanding it. You know, YouTube algorithm doesn't understand it, but that's not the end of the world.
They've nailed us bad.
And honestly, guys, that's fine.
And that's okay.
You know, we're not doing these just for the numbers of YouTube. It's to get information out and for you guys to enjoy. And you know, ultimately, in the end, it's for our grandkids and our great-grandkids to be able to watch the journey of building this. You know,
It's a diary of our life. And
as they get older,
yeah.
you know, they won't remember because most of them are so young now of us starting from scratch. You know, they'll be able to come here and see a completed house and, you know, like things more done and more normal looking, not chaos and construction.
What's that?
I don't know. It looks good in the magazines,
Yeah, it
but
does.
and I guess other exciting news, because I don't know if we told y'all. So we had our trip to Tennessee, one of our teenager rabbits got out.
Oh,
And, you know, honestly, 100% my fault because I know what happened is the way that grow out pen, when I modified it, it's got that overhang. Well, then there's a board that helps it because it tries to go cattywampus. And I forgot when I had it set everywhere else that I had a cinder block on it. And I honestly thought the cinder block was only there because I had nowhere else to set it at the moment it was in my hand. And come to find out there was a reason it was on there, and it was to keep them from pushing it open or other critters from being able to pull it open. But either way, one of them got out, and it was only one.
but it was my favorite one.
Yeah.
The one that if it's a female, I want to keep because the coloring on this rabbit is like I've never seen before.
Yeah.
It's like a gray, almost looks like a silver fox with that gray
like
orange or that brown orange undertone with black tips. It's almost iridescent a little bit. It's the coolest thing.
And the crazy part is, which, you know, with all the technologies, the cameras, right? The camera won't pick that part of it up. Like it looks a totally different color on camera than it does in real life. But yeah, I mean, just it's a super cool. So, anyways, we got it back. It
Yeah.
never actually left the area.
Maya was so worried about it. She'd sit there and whimper because we could always tell where it was located, whether it was the wood pile, whether it was under the chicken coop or in the shed. And she was on it. And the one day I was feeding the meat birds and I look over and there she is in between the chicken coops. And I hollered at the kids, and I call them kids, but they're grown adults, but hollered at the kids.
They're still kids.
Yeah. And Jake set the live trap. And then Jenna accidentally popped the trap, and then she figured out how to reset the trap. And we got, Jake had sent me a picture when we were at 10 Killer, and we got it. So we got our money back. And I mean, I'm definitely excited to have her. I'm really hoping it's a girl because she's a little survivor, so I want to keep her. So we got to come up with a cool name for her.
And then right before we left, because I don't know if this can be on videos or not, but I know right before we left for 10 Killer, I think that morning, actually the morning we were leaving.
Yeah, the morning we were leaving for 10 Killer.
Janet, which we thought she was due like
The
a week
18th.
before that, but yeah, she had her litter, and I think there's
6 or 7.
somewhere between 6 to 8.
yeah.
Because I think you counted 6, at least 6.
No, I counted 7, and Jenna
Or
had
7,
counted 8.
and Jenna said 8, so I don't
And
know.
there's some beautiful ones in that. And Mr. Roper's the dad of that bunch, and there's actually a jet black, complete, no other colors on it. It's just some really cool. I love seeing the different patterns that come out. Chrissy's got her 3 still toddlers, and with her, they're growing really super well. But it'll be time. I was wondering if we couldn't maybe put these 2 batches of littler ones in together to grow out so we can rebreed Chrissy, because I enjoy the rabbit meat, and it's a staple on any homestead to be able to provide meat.
We just need to look at we need to do the math on the dates to make sure
that it's not sometime when we're
well when it's really hot as their grow out. It's one of those, because we had that issue last year. Was
very true.
We were like, hey, we still have time. Well, what we didn't account for was them actually their 12 weeks of growing. We didn't put that into the mathing, and so when it came out, it ended up being part of the heat of the summer. I think with this grow out cage we have, they'll be better because it's fully open, other than the piece of metal I have on top for their shelter part. But all the sides, the bottom, everything on this one is a typical rabbit cage, right? It's all hardware cloth. But yeah, we have to be cognitive of the breeding. So I think if we do the math, with it being the end of April,
we may want to hold off.
Yeah, as much as we'd like to breed again, I think they might get the break for the summer at this point, because I want to say it was around this time last year that we did our last breeding, and yeah, it was not
too hot.
Wasn't good. I mean, if we had a better...
See, that's why we're a team.
Yeah.
Because where I get overly ambitious, he has to pull me away.
And I know that there's people that do it. I mean, we've watched videos where, they'll breed them year round, and they, we kind of overbuilt the one rabbit cage, and there's people, use the ice water bottles, use all these different things. And then you see breeders that are just like, they're in that cage over there. They get feed and water, boom, they're done. Yeah. They're under like a lean-to of a barn sometimes. And I think when we get the barn up,
we'll move them.
That might be a thing that we build a bigger lean-to area for them. And then we can do, cause with the lean-tos, it's 3-sided open. And so as long as they can get good airflow, and if you build it right where it does get a constant airflow, especially in the summer months, because rabbits can't moderate their heat. They're a cold temperate. They do well in the cold because of all their fur, but they don't have any way of sweating and cooling themselves off. So I don't know. It's all fun. I mean, we're kind of figuring it out, and we're definitely not on a shortage of bunnies. I mean, it hurt when we lost 6 of Chrissy's in that cold snap, but she still has the 3, and so that's 7, that's 10, and then if she had 7 more, I mean, that's 17. Mm-hmm. And we're gonna do some swap around, but I need to build, project list, right, y'all? I need to build a couple more rabbit cages because we want to do a swap with Eric at Tilted K. They want to, that way we can
interchange all the genetics.
Yeah, keep all the genetics clean between the two different, I don't know, what do you call them, herds? What are a group of rabbits? They're
cute.
Flock.
That's what they are. They're cute.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah. But lots of projects. I mean, we could go on and on.
Right. But we're gonna close this one, guys. We appreciate it, and we appreciate the prayers, and just keep them coming. And add your list. I did share the information on our main White Rock Homestead page. The link for Josh Sherman and his family, that Tish Ross. So don't get confused when you go there. Tish at No Judgment Here is putting that on to be able to send the money to Josh. I think Josh does have some Cash App or PayPal's or something on his, but Tish is doing one to be able to kind of help him manage, because those storms that just barely missed us at 10 Killer caused a major flooding, and he had some videos out of showing that flood damage, and it's just insane.
If we didn't have so much going on, we would be there in a heartbeat. I just can't be in both places.
Right. But the thoughts and prayers are big, even if you can't financially help out, or if there's an issue or an opportunity, if you're close to where he's at in that central southern Oklahoma, for cleanup. I don't know what that looks like. Nobody's got anything organized on that yet, but yeah. So just those prayers for all those, and then all the families there in what was it, Sulphur. They said the entire town of Sulphur, Oklahoma got completely wiped out. And that's just...
Or had some form of damage. But
yeah, so... All right, guys, we're going to end this one. You all have a glorious day. And no matter what keeps beating you down, find something positive in that. There's a reason for everything, and we don't have to know the reason, so...
Yeah. And, even I can still do coffee chats and stuff from Tennessee, so...
yeah, we can mix it up. You do one, I do one. We do them together and just throw them out there.
You'll just have to still do the thumbnail because I hadn't planned on... If I take the laptop, then you have nothing to edit on.
I got 2 thumbnails. I'm good for 2 of them.
All right, guys. We appreciate everything. And thank you for the continued prayers for my daddy. And we'll go from there.
All right.
Thank you. Peace
Love
out.
you guys.